Hey YouTube land, it's Tychonders here doing another action figure review, and this time it's for another 12-inch G.I. Joe action figure from Hasbro. Now this is the first time they ever did this particular character, and if I just move the camera down a small bit, you'll see he's the mortar specialist, codenamed Short-fuze. Short-fuze is again another one of the original 13 characters, just like Grunt, who I previously reviewed. Short-fuze is another original 13, which means, if you're not familiar with the G.I. Joe figures, they were, Short-fuze and Grunt were part of the original 13 figures that were released by Hasbro way back in the 80s in the 3¼ inch line. There was the original 13, which comprised of Hawk, Stalker, Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Duke part of it? I don't think Duke was in it. Maybe Duke was there. I'm trying to remember if he was. I know Zap was, Breaker, what's the guy? There's Short-fuze and Grunt, and I think there was, who was the other guy? The laser guy, Flash. They were the characters. So let me just see if I got all of them. So I got down here. I think that was all 13. I could be wrong. I could have missed someone. But they were the original kind of G.I. Joe figures in the kind of just green suits. Except for Snake Eyes, who was, as you know, was all black in his black commando gear. And then you had Scarlet, which was the female figure from the line. And all the rest kind of utilised the same body type, just with different heads and different accessories. So Short-fuze here. Oh yeah, that was the guy, the heavy machine gunner. Rock and Roll, that was the other one that I missed out on. Short-fuze here is, comes in this window style box packaging with the G.I. Joe logo down the side. As I said, it has the cool mortar specialist and codename. What I love about this packaging actually is the background. Now, I'm not sure if you can see that clearly through the packaging. It has a HISS tank, and it's the DTC HISS tank, which is DTC stood for direct to consumer. So it's one that they made only through the Hasbro website that you could order directly from them. It's one of my favourite versions of the HISS tank. And next to that, actually, if I bring the box out, the box art on this is one of my favourite. If I just remove the inner tray, bear with me a moment. Everything's probably going to come crashing out on me, but it will be worth it. So, I just bring it in there without the inner tray in the way, so get rid of the outer tray, outer packaging as well, just so you can see the artwork. There we go. Give it a little bit better. You have, in the corner there is, I can't remember the name of it, it's another one of the Cobra vehicles from the Valor vs. Venom line. And then in the center here, it's actually a vehicle from, I guess, the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, called the Adder. And it was basically a one-man kind of rocket launching vehicle, which is pretty sweet. And up above then you have a fire bat. And I think just in the corner there is actually the Python Patrol version of the Conquest. So you have a lot of references to older and newer Cobra vehicles within this packaging, which is pretty cool. So if I just move that aside, I will pop around to the back of the box so you can see the artwork. Well, it's not artwork, it's an image of the figure in the packaging. So it's the prototype for the figure. You can see the head, when I get to it, is slightly different. The scar is actually on the right cheek as opposed to the left cheek. But other than that, he seems to have pretty much the same gear. So his name is Eric W. Freistad, I think is how you pronounce it. Freistad. Birthplace Chicago, Illinois. Specialty infantry support and indirect fire weapons, aka mortars. Chosen because Short-fuze has led many mortar platoons during conflicts against Cobra forces in every field of battle from deserts to urban areas. Achievements: his ability to organize and train mortar squads, sections, and platoons has helped the G.I. Joe team to achieve many victories over Cobra. In particular, he was instrumental in regaining control of a town that Cobra had taken over and was using as a base of operations. Short-fuze used mortars to destroy the nearly impenetrable barriers around the town, allowing the G.I. Joe team to get inside. Commander's notes: his target accuracy is unsurpassed due to his ability to calculate triangulations and azimuths in his head. I'm not sure if that's a word. Demanding yet fair, he is totally focused on helping each member of his platoon achieve his personal best, as well as accomplish the team's goal. And then below you have other figures in the line, which is Beachhead, Destro, and Cobra Commander. I don't have that particular version of Cobra Commander. I don't think it's a great version of him. He would have been better if they had kind of repackaged him and done him as a Viper, because I think it looks more like a Viper than Cobra Commander himself. But I do have Beachhead there, and I will review him eventually when we get around to reviewing all of them. So that's it for the packaging. On to the figure itself. So, as stated, the figure is the Cobra Mortar team member. So G.I. Joe Mortar team member. So he comes with this mortar that comes in 3 pieces. The base plate is separate, and you just plug it straight in, and this upper piece is separate, and you just clip it onto this, and you have the mortar. And it is a working mortar, so it does actually launch. So you get 2 mortar shells, which are identical in black with silver paint taps. And then to fire the mortar, you just load in one of the shells. You can see it's up the top there. There is a spring that you pull back here, and then on the side just here is a hidden switch. So when you press it down on it, it fires the mortar shells out, and you can get some range on the mortar shells. So the other accessory he comes with, aside from his helmet, which is a separate piece, is this rifle. The only thing that's movable on it is the bipod, so you can actually have him lying down and looking down on the bipod on it. The magazine unfortunately isn't removable. I thought it was, but it isn't. This is the exact same bipod that came with one of the early 2000s G.I. Joe versus Cobra, or the Valor versus Venom version of Cobra Commander. He had the exact same one. I think that was the first outing for that particular weapon. I could be wrong. It might have come with other figures. I know they tend to reuse a lot of stuff from the mid-90s. So on to the figure himself. So as I said, he does have a removable helmet. So if I just take the helmet off, the helmet has a elastic holding the chin strap on, and it's kind of 2 pieces, so it just springs around the head. Head sculpt is quite nice. Just get the camera to focus on it. So it is quite nice head sculpt. It doesn't seem to be a reuse from what I can see of older head sculpts. Sometimes they had a knack of just reusing some of the heads and painting it different colours, or just doing different haircut styles on them. But in this particular round, I think they kind of gave him each figure all new head sculpts. So he looks pretty cool. You could almost mistake him for Duke, except for that he says Short-fuze on his jacket, but if you were just looking at the head on its own, you could think it was a Duke head, but it's not. It is Short-fuze. One of the Short-fuze's trademark things from the 25th anniversary line was that he had sunglasses, because they reused the Doc head, or just repainted in skin tone, but he doesn't seem to have them in this. So for articulation, his arms can go up that much. They can rotate all around. He has a single jointed
elbow that can get 90-degree bend and a swivel at the elbow. He has a hinge up and down at the wrist, as well as a rotation at the wrist. He has articulating fingers. He has a trigger finger that's on a separate joint to the rest of his finger digits, so he can grip stuff. He can grip the rifle nice enough. I do find on some of the rifles that they use, they gave the handles are fairly bulky because they were for some of the older figures which incorporated a different style of hand, which was like a big chunky rubber block. So you have that. His head is ball jointed, so you can go forward, back. It has a swivel, and get some side to side tilt and up and down on it. It does have a waist swivel. He has splits in the legs that allow him to go that much. If you didn't have the pants on, you probably could do a bit wider stance, go forward that much. Single jointed knee with a swivel. He does have ankle articulation and a swivel. The ankle articulation is slightly hindered because of the rubber of the boots. As with a lot of the figures from this line, he has soft goods for the lower half, and he has the solid sculpt then for the top. So like this solid sculpted t-shirt. A lot of the G.I. Joes had this solid sculpted t-shirts, and then they had like solid, or the standard kind of material soft good stuff for the legs. He has 2 knee pads which are on elastic, and he has, I really like how they did this. This is very kind of reminiscent of the original figure, that he had these kind of body straps and that went around them. The 25th anniversary ones had like rubber style web gear. It was very similar to this as well, except I think some of them had pockets and gun holster pouches and stuff like that, but it does remind me very much. So it has elasticated parts. It has solid plastic belt, elasticated part here for the 2 side straps. The shoulder straps then are plastic that go all the way around to the back, and then you have a third elasticated piece then to just connects back onto the belt again. So he has some nice detailing on it. He has the G.I. Joe logo on one shoulder, nothing on the other shoulder, and he is pretty articulated. You can get some very good poses out of him, and you can get him to stand quite nicely if I just get him to stand back here. As I say that, he'll probably fall forward or backwards on me, so just get there so I can get him to stand quite nicely. So just for a scale, I'll bring in my tape measure, and he does stand just around 11 and a half, just around 11 and a bit, so he's in around the 12-inch scale. And for another size comparison, if I just move the mortar out over to one side, I do have the Star Wars Emperor's Royal Guard as well. So let me just get the Royal Guard to stand up there and get them into focus. So bear with me a moment. I'll just bring the camera up a bit so you can see it. So you can see the height of him with an. This is the Hasbro's Emperor's Royal Guard. I'm not sure if Sideshow have actually done versions of the Royal Guard, but that is him standing next to one of those. So there you go, guys. Quick video review for the Short-Fuse figure. It is a really cool figure. I think, if I remember correctly, it was made in 2009. It could have been 2008, but it's either between 2008 and 2009 is when it was made. They can be pricey depending on where you get them. I was lucky enough that I managed to find a chap on Instagram that was selling some of these, and I kind of made a deal with him that I'd buy so many of them in one go. So we kind of made a deal on it, which was kind of good. So I picked up Grunt, Short-Fuse, Beachhead, 2 Cobra Troopers, a Cobra Eel, and hopefully I will be able to pick up Snow Job, and there's one other G.I. Joe. Who's the other G.I. Joe? Oh, Duke. one of the versions of Duke from 2009, I think it is. Or sorry, not Duke, Dusty. So I will review those when I get a chance to get around to them. So there you go, guys. Quick video review for the G.I. Joe 12-inch Short-fuze. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I know a lot of people don't tend to like the old 12-inch G.I. Joes, but I will try and showcase them and get them reviewed, and hopefully people will enjoy them. So as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Cheers, guys.